Welcome to the initiative.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the initiative. I'm very excited to talk to you guys today because we're going to be talking about some more Miller leaks. Today, Miller, the resident Avengers game community leaker, for those of you that don't know, very credible leaker, source of information guy, he made a kind of a tongue-in-cheek post today where he posted some details about the Black Panther expansion, but he posted them using like the cyberpunk announcement format, so that kind of adds kind of like a comedic flair to it. But the information inside the post should be taken seriously, I think, given that it is Miller. So I want to talk about some of the stuff here. It's pretty exciting, it's pretty cool, and it, of course, like I said, has to do with the Black Panther expansion, right? So here we go. I'm just going to read this as is, and then we'll talk about it, right? So it says, "Dear gamers, the Black Panther operation coming to Marvel's Avengers is massive and brings with it a huge swath of content. A Wakanda region with a unique biome and new objectives littered throughout, a Wakanda outpost featuring several fan-favorite characters, an expansive new story chapter with unique lore sure to excite fans, Marvel's Avengers' first true raid with players storming a mining facility at the Great Vibranium Mound for an epic fight against Claw, several new missions taking you through more recognizable Wakandan locales, playable King T'Challa, played by Christopher Judge, the same guy that plays Kratos in God of War, and a collection of iconic Black Panther suits with something for everyone. Get ready to riddle your enemies with energy daggers, slice through waves of would-be conquerors with razor-sharp vibranium claws, and bound great distances with jumps fueled by kinetic bursts." The rest of it becomes kind of a funny joke, but everything we get there is really, really cool and interesting, and I'm going to dissect it right now. So basically, the first thing that popped out to me here was the mention of new objectives littered throughout the Wakanda region. Now, when I first read that, I thought I kind of misinterpreted it, and I thought of the Wakanda outpost, right? Because it does also say we're getting a Wakandan outpost, so that, of course, is going to be like a substation, a helicarrier, an anthill, a little hub world for us to chill in, get missions from, get rewards from, stuff like that. But no, when it's saying a Wakanda region with new objectives, that's like, you know, a war zone, a play, like a level that you go to, that you select, a mission that you select, and then you're in those little free roam areas where you got all those question marks and objectives that you can choose to explore, right? So it says new objectives, and something that the developers have been stressing lately is that you'll have new activities and new ways to play. And so my first thought here is maybe you'll have objectives revolving around civilians. Wakanda is obviously home to the Wakandans, and I'm thinking it could be cool to have little objectives where we help them out, defend them, escort them places, stuff like that. There might be some things we can do with civilians that we haven't done with, like, in other missions in the game. You know, maybe we can just talk to some of them, like if they have like these big Wakandan fields, maybe we can see some farmers, maybe we can see some like shepherds herding their animals, stuff like that, and maybe we can help them out. That'd be cool, you know, to interact with like people that aren't AIM prisoners, you know, stuff like that. I think that'd be cool, to protect them, to help them. That'd be awesome. But moving on from that, we also see a Wakandan outpost featuring several fan-favorite characters. Now, some people might immediately go to characters like Okoye, Nakia, but also, what if we get like Storm here, you know? I mean, Black Panther was married to Storm for an amount of time in the comics, so I mean, that could be a big fan-favorite character that they use. Who knows? Who knows? The next thing that popped out to me is the mention of Claw. And the reason why it pops out to me is because Miller actually said that this is going to be a very comic book accurate Claw, unlike the one in the movies. And the fact that he's going to be the center of a raid mission, right? That means Claw's going to be pretty powerful here. And my first thought when I think of Claw being really powerful is his appearance in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. In the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, Claw actually ends up getting like really massive. He turns into this massive creature made out of sound, and he causes a whole ruckus, right? And I think maybe we could be seeing something similar in this raid mission in the Great Vibranium Mound against like a giant made out of sound version of Claw. And I think that'd be very cool, very cool. The next bit that jumped out at me was the whole several new missions taking you through more recognizable recognizable locales. And the reason why this pops out to me is because I can't think of that many locales from the MCU version of Wakanda that were particularly recognizable, other than like the throne room, like the train area, the underground train place. But I can think of some locations from the comics that I think would be cool to see. Like, my first thought was maybe seeing the necropolis, which is where all the past Black Panthers are buried. I think that'd be a cool location to see in the game. Now, I don't think that would be particularly recognizable to MCU fans, but I think it would be interesting. Maybe we can just see like where they grow the heart-shaped herbs, or the waterfall area from the movies as well. It really depends what they mean by recognizable. Like, recognizable to MCU fans mostly, or recognizable to just like locations in the comics that I think are cool and important. Like, I think the underground beneath Wakanda areas are really cool, and we see them in some Fantastic Four books as well sometimes. I really like those kinds of places. So I wonder what that means. That kind of sparked my curiosity for sure. I'm very curious about what those will end up being if they actually end up doing some interesting locations in Wakanda. And then skipping over Christopher Judge, because I know, like, that's awesome, I know, but there's not, like, anything I can bring knowledge to when it comes to that, because Christopher Judge, I mean, everyone knows Christopher Judge. He did an incredible job in God of War, and I think, having him play T'Challa would be amazing, and I think it would create a lot of hype. But I want to talk about the energy daggers and the razor-sharp vibranium claws, etc., and the kinetic bursts as well that this post mentions, because that sounds very similar to me, again, to some moves that Black Panther does in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, which I'll put up here in the video, where he is also throwing these vibranium little daggers and, sharp objects, and it's really cool, and I'm really glad that we're seeing this. And overall, like, everything we've seen from Black Panther in this game so far, from the leaks anyway, like the concept art, and now this information. Overall, I'm very curious to see how MCU fans are going to react to this game's portrayal of Black Panther. I'm personally very excited. It seems like they're going for a very original take, but also a take that seems more true to the comics and cartoons in certain aspects. Like, given Christopher Judge's performance in the leaked audio clips that we've heard, it's not confirmed that that's Christopher Judge, but just going off of what this post says, based on the leaked voice clips, based on the new armor design, new costume design that we've seen, and everything that we know about his energy daggers and razor-sharp vibranium claws, as they mentioned, being used in this game, perhaps, it really seems like this game is going to portray the more warrior, aggressive, intimidating side of Black Panther, whereas in the MCU, we got to see more of his leader-like qualities, more of his peaceful qualities, which, I mean, both are great, but I am very, very excited about seeing this more, aggressive warrior-like version of T'Challa here. More like how he was kind of in Civil War, when he was like really angry at Winter Soldier and everyone. It seems like we're going to be getting that here, kind of. And I'm very excited to see it. I'm very pumped for the Black Panther expansion. I think it'll bring in a lot of new players to the game, people that didn't have it before, that will be excited by the inclusion of Black Panther, and maybe even by this other stuff that we're getting, like Wakanda, and possibly the new objectives in Wakanda as well. I think that's going to excite a lot of new players. I think it'll bring back a lot of old players. So I really think like the Black Panther expansion is going to be very massive, and I'm very excited about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're as excited as I am for the Black Panther expansion. I'm definitely going to be maxing out this character. And let me know what you think about all this. And if you noticed something that I didn't, also make sure to point that out for me. All right? Okay. Hope you're having a good day, and Merry Christmas.